Right now, you're creating habits, habits that you do every single day, habits that you do every week. And these habits are going to scale throughout your life. You're creating unconscious protocols that are going to have a great influence on the results that you can have in the real world, that are going to affect how much money you make, the kind of girls that you date, the places you travel, the freedom that you have, the family that you eventually have. These protocols are going to affect you, and they can either be helpful or they can be harmful. Some of these protocols are going to be neutral. As an example of one of these protocols or habits, as we could call them, would be brushing your teeth. You may brush your teeth with your left hand or you brush your teeth with your right hand. Doesn't really matter. It's neutral. But there's also harmful protocols, something like watching porn before bed. That's an unconscious habit that you have created, if you are doing it, that is taking you away from where you want to be in the future, or getting into a binging scrolling cycle, right? Where you're on the phone just scrolling, consuming content for an hour, which I know many of us have done. And I've been victim to this myself. The most successful mentors that I've had have built a series of protocols in their lives that help them get to exactly where they want to be. And I've built these protocols for myself. And what I'm going to do in this video is explain to you exactly how you can leverage protocols to get to where you want to be. I'm going to give you my exact protocols and tell you what I do in my life to get success and earn 15, 20K plus per month. And I'm going to give you exactly what you can do to do the same thing to help you earn more money, build the business you want, build the dream life you want. You have to define what protocol is first. So the definition of protocol that I use is the accepted or established code of procedure or behavior in any group, organization, or situation. Okay, it's an established code of procedure. This is the way that we do things for any group or any organization or any situation. The question now is, how do you build protocols? The first thing you must do is start with the vision. If you want to have the right protocol for your life, for money, for lifestyle freedom, when it comes to traveling and living and creating the life you want, when it comes to dating, the women that you date, when it comes to your body and having the physique that you want to have, you have to start with the vision. The question to ask yourself is, what does the future lifestyle that you want to have, the peak lifestyle you want to be in, let's say we fast forwarded 10 years, okay? When you're 25, or let's say 45, whatever age you decide to set, what does that lifestyle look like and what does it contain? And you're going to reverse engineer this. So there's a couple of different categories. Number one is locations. Where are the places that you exist in, the places that you spend time in? Where are you? That's number one, locations. Number two is numbers in terms of cash. What kind of cash are you bringing in? What are you spending on? What's the cash that is normal for you to interact with and to enjoy and to experience in the world? What do you produce in terms of cash? Number three is network. Who are the men that are around you? Who are the people who help drive your business forward? Whether this is mentors or these are partners or these are people who work with you or under you. Who is in your network? What does this look like? And I'll explain to you what you're going to do as a part of the vision. Number four, relationships. What are the relationships that you have when it comes to dating? Are you married to a beautiful, beautiful woman, or are you seeing a couple of different girls, 2-3 girls that are all dating you, that really are invested in you? It doesn't matter what it is, but you need to have a vision of this. What's the vision? What's the relationship that you want to have? Activities. What do you engage in terms of activities? If you have a family, are you engaging in activities with your son or with your daughter and spending quality time with the family? Are you doing activities like going to different adventures, going on different trips, giving back to your local community? What are some of the activities that you spend time in doing in this future vision? And what you're going to want to do is build a mental construct around the vision. That's the secret, because a mental construct is a literal image that you project into your mind. And if you've read Psycho-Cybernetics, you know that that's where this is coming from. I'm a huge fan of Psycho-Cybernetics, and a really big thing that I learned and I adopted from this book is how you can paint a visual picture in your mind of who you want to be, and you can experience those feelings, those emotions, those visuals in the present, and use those visuals to influence your future, right? So they overlap, and then it becomes a reality. So you can create a mental construct, which is a literal image that you project into your mind that contains visions of different locations, numbers, network, relationships, activities. After you build the vision, and you have an idea, you see what these experiences are. You see what these experiences with different women are, with different locations, different places. The next thing you do is create an identity. The question I want you to ask yourself here, and this is really important for you, brother, is who do you need to be to achieve X lifestyle. So the dream lifestyle that you want to create, where you have everything you want and more, where you have the freedom to live how you want, you have the freedom to date how you want, you have the freedom to travel how you want, to build the relationships, to have the network you want. Who do you need to be to achieve that lifestyle? And this comes down to three things: your words, your actions, and your thoughts. The man who has this vision realized as his actual state of being, that man, that future version of you who is living in that, who is experiencing that reality, how does he speak? How does he act? And how does he think? I'll give you an example with this. That's something interesting that I experienced, because I remember when I was younger. I'm going to be 30 soon. I'm 29 years old. Some of you may not know that. I'm 29. And I remember when I was younger, when I was 20, and I was starting to get into the self-development space for men. And my entry to that space was through understanding dating dynamics and social dynamics. I had a mentor who ran quite a big company, and I learned from him a lot of ideas around dating, around communication, around leadership, things like that. And I remember back then, I wasn't making any money. I was a nightclub promoter on the weekends. I was bringing girls to clubs, and then I would try to coach guys on weekends and how to meet women, how to connect with women. This is around from age 20 to 22, give or take. And it was so interesting because I remember the experience of wanting more and wanting more freedom. Now, I didn't have the tools to get it at the time, and I was going to have them, which I live that now. And, there's another level I want to be at, but I didn't have those tools at the time. But I do remember that I always treated myself as the kind of man who was experiencing that reality, right? So the way that I would talk to my friends, the people that I was around, the influences that I would look at online, the people I would look at on YouTube, the mentors that I had, the conversations I had were very aligned with the man who does actually have the freedom he wants to have, right? So this reality that I'm in now, where I literally do have the freedom to go pretty much anywhere I want. I have an amazing girl. I can literally connect with guys all over the world because I have amazing networks of great guys that I know in different major cities. My crew of guys here in Budapest are super awesome guys that are very talented, hardworking men who motivate me. It's very interesting that before I literally had this reality that I'm in now, I was consistently building a mental construct around this reality, and I had the identity of a man who is living this now. So it's not like I stumbled into it by luck. And that's the key. How does this man speak? The man who has the lifestyle that you want to have. The future version of you. I'm not talking about someone else. You. In this future version of you, where you do have the income you want, you do have the freedom you want, how does he speak? How does he act? How does he think? What is that? This is the source of your protocols. This is going to be the source. This is the identity. And your protocols are going to be based off of this identity. So an example of me recently is drinking. Last year, I didn't drink for 75% of the year for about 9 months. And I was really, really proud of myself because I completely cut out alcohol because I wanted to test myself and see if I could do it. How did I do it? It wasn't even a struggle, to be honest. There was 1 or 2 moments where I wanted to drink, but it wasn't a big struggle. And the reason I was able to do this well is because I consciously begin to speak out loud and say to others and communicate as I don't drink. I'm not the kind of person who drinks. I just don't drink. So when people would ask me different questions, they'd say, oh yeah, like, do you go out and party? I'd say, yeah, I go out and party, but I don't drink. I would say it out loud, even if they didn't ask. I don't drink, so I go out and I'm just grabbing sparkling water. If a friend would ask me, if a buddy of mine who I was recently connecting with, like someone new, would come and say, hey bro, like we haven't connected in a while, let's go out for a cocktail or two. I'd say, yeah dude, I don't drink, but let's go out and have like sparkling water or kombucha or tea or something like that. There we go. We're good to go. Because I would verbalize, I am not the person who drinks, right? I don't drink. So a couple other examples, saying like I have a 20K offer. That's an example. Most of what I sell right now, I'll be very transparent. Most of what I sell as a closer right now is in the 5 to 10K range. Most of them. Occasionally I'll sell something that's 20K. I actually just did literally a day ago. But most of the time I'm selling within the 5 to 10K range. But when I talk to people about my sales and I talk to the guys that I consult for, the businesses that I talk to and help them with their process, I say, yeah, I sell 20K offers. I sell 20K offers. I say I am the person who sells 20K offers. Another one, I have a network of high value men. This is an interesting one because I think the network I have when I'm 45, when I'm 50 is going to be so much more high value than the network I have now. I've got some great guys that I work with that are on my team, guys that motivate me, guys that support me, right? You guys know who you are because some of you guys look at my channel. But these guys are freaking amazing guys. So what I say is I have the network of high value men that I need. I have that network. I speak it into fruition. I speak it into existence. Now, the question would be how to actually build the protocols from the identity. So, what I want you to do, here's the exercise I'm going to give you, and I'm going to tell you what to do here. You want to start seeing protocols as standards backed by habits. That's what a protocol is, because there's a lot of talk about protocol. What the fuck is a protocol? It's a standard you set for yourself that you back by habits. So for me, the standard was I don't drink, and the protocol was backed by the habit of not drinking. The standard and the habit combined creates the protocol. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to go through a few of these examples of the protocols that I use. I'm going to give you two really, really good ones. The first one I'll give you is the example of my skill set protocol. Let's say you're focusing on making cash, you're focusing on leveling up your skill set. You can apply this to business or just a skill. In my case, it was sales, because I'm a huge proponent that in order for young men to make money, I think the best way they could start, if you're looking for an entry point, is sales. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. It doesn't mean it's quick cash, but I think it's the best point to get close to business owners and understand the workings of the business and be the point of contact for people who want to invest in that business. So you can understand so much. And then as you get good, especially later, as you get good, a couple months in, you can start to make more money because your skill set speaks for itself. So what I did is I've been in sales for a long time because I ran my own business and I was selling my own offer for like 5 to 10K consistently. I was selling an offer at that price point, and I was doing around 10K per month for quite a while. So I was doing sales, but then I decided to move fully into sales and sell for other people instead of just selling for my own business, right? And I made a change. And what I did was I took 2 months and I withdrew myself from the world, stopped doing anything outside of sales so that I could get good at sales, so that I could literally get way better than almost anyone else that I knew at sales. And that ended up being the case. All right, I got very, very good to the point where I can put my sales calls out publicly on YouTube or in our community for guys to see them and learn from them and be like, holy crap, the way you handled objections is insane. So here's an example of the skill set protocol that I use to level up my ability in sales. Number one was I trained with the sales mentor 2 times a week. So I invested in a program, a coaching program, a mentorship program, and I trained 2 times a week. That was number one. And that took me about, I'd say, 3 hours a week, because the trainings were around an hour and a half. So it took me 3 hours a week of training. Then I'd take notes. I'd review the notes. So I added some more time for that, 4 hours. I'd role play with community members also 2 times a week. So I'd hop on role plays with the other guys that were in my program. Some of these guys that I'm very close to now, and I appreciate y'all. Like, I would role play with these guys. And this was my life. So sometimes I would do this 2 times a week. Sometimes I would do it 3 times a week. But that was the other part of the protocol. Call reviews and note taking 3 times a week. This is another one. So I would watch my own calls and I would literally fill up a notebook taking notes on a call. I remember I had a flight because I was training a self-development client, a dating client of mine in Boston a couple of months ago. And I was on the flight from Boston and there was a business owner on the flight next to me. I was flying in business class. And he tapped me because I was watching one of my own calls. And he was like, by the way, do you do sales? And I was like, yeah. He said, are you reviewing your own call? And I was like, yeah. And I literally had the notebook next to me, jotting down notes, looking at my own sales call. And he was like, damn, that's pretty cool. So that was another aspect of me learning sales. It was reviewing my calls and taking notes 3 times a week. Then I would take 25 sales calls every week. Okay, this happened consistently. Sometimes it was a little less, sometimes it was more, sometimes it was even 30 calls. And first I worked for a really, really shit business influencer. He was not good at all. It was a bad opportunity, but I still learned a lot about how difficult sales can be, especially if you're not at the top of your game. It was an interesting experience. Now the business that I consult for, my primary client, we're doing very, very well. But I would take 25 sales calls every single week consistently. And then I would do a weekly meditation or visualization on the sales process and future game planning around sales. So I would have one day where I wouldn't only just do sales or wouldn't only take notes or watch calls, but I would literally either take a walk. It was a bit cold, but I would take a walk still, or I would go in the bath and just sit and take a cold bath and meditate and sit in it and think on sales. I would take an hour to do this, and I would just breathe and think on sales and scripts and say them out loud. There were other small things. I would dream about sales. I would be talking in sales speak through the day. Like I would go up to my girl and I would just randomly be like, I'm just curious based on what we went through here in terms of process. Do you feel like this can actually help you make the changes you're looking for and really hit 20, 30K a month? Or how do you feel? Because that's the most important thing. And then she'd be like, dear God, can you stop saying the sales stuff to me? I would start to speak in sales, think in sales, dream in sales. And it became me. So selling became second nature to me, and it became easy, right? And I got better and better and better till I was able to kick ass, and I was able to clear, consistent months of doing 10, 15K plus, literally because I had invested so much time in the skill. That was the skill set protocol. Another example of a protocol would be a productivity and focus protocol. And this is something I do now. I'll tell you exactly how I work now, how I get a lot done, how I consistently pump out content here, and also work with my clients. So number one is I always win the morning. I keep my phone on airplane mode until I get my first win in. And this is a non-negotiable. I take no calls in the morning. I'm not looking at texts. The first win I have is either head to the gym, and then I'll take my phone off of airplane while I'm on the way there. But I want to start off with a win, or I'll go outdoors, either take a hike, head out to go hike with my dog, or some kind of work activity if it's a rest day with no active physical activity, because I do take rest days, so either 1 to 2 times per week. So I'll go and do some kind of work activity, right? Maybe I'll check some numbers for YouTube, or I'll respond to a few comments, then I'll take the phone off of airplane mode, no worries. But I'm always getting a first win in. I want to win my morning and absolutely dominate my morning. Then I have something I call lock-in, and this is usually a 4-hour window. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit longer, but a 4-hour window where I'm going to either do some version of calls, scripting for YouTube, or editing, if again, YouTube, or for our community, or writing. That's what I'll do. So writing just means maybe writing for a future course, a future program, working on scripts, sending emails to someone I might have to respond to, or talking to clients, right? That's writing. So what I'll do is I'll hit my work environment. I'll go to the office space that I rent, or I'll hit a really nice cafe, or I'll just be in this office here in my apartment. I have an office in my apartment, and then I'll put on some stimulating music. This is me. Not everyone needs to do this. If I'm shooting a video, of course, I won't put on music, but I'll put on something that stimulates me. Now it's the Dune 2 soundtrack that really just wakes me up and kind of just inspires me. Just the I'll talk more about this in a bit, by the way, in this video, but just the story behind it, and the, I would say, the genius behind that whole franchise, and just the movies and all that. I think it's very interesting and inspiring. So I'll put on some music, and then I'll accomplish 1 or 2 or 3 of my macro tasks. So again, this could be knocking out calls. Maybe I'll have 3 back-to-back calls that I'll have to do, bring in some deals, right? Or maybe it'll be where I have to respond to a client and hop on a call with a client and do a bit of work there. Or it could be a team meeting, right, where I'll train maybe our setter on the team I'm on. Or I'll have to talk to the CEO of the business and talk about our sales processes that we're doing, and report to him and let him know what's going on and give him updates. So I'll do one of those macro tasks, or maybe I'll just shoot a video if I'm here in the office. Like right now, I've gotten home from the gym and I'm shooting a video. That's what I'm doing right now. Then what I do is disruption. Now, I believe in disruption. You need to find your own protocol, but I know that the future version of me, who's killing it, career, life, all that, I'm already killing it, but who's the future version of me who has those other goals that I do have, which I'll talk about in another video, that version of me disrupts. Disrupts meaning I don't believe in just sitting and working for 12 hours. I don't do that personally. Some people that works for, it doesn't work for me. I need to take a break, and not a break because the work is too much, but I just get sucked into a kind of this weird gray space where I'm not actually enjoying the work anymore if I don't feel stimulated. And I need to feel stimulated. This is how my brain works. So what I'll do is I'll either take a nap, or I'll do some kind of meditation, or I'll go walk, I'll go outside, or I'll call my mom or call my dad. I'll hop on the phone with someone. Maybe I'll call my sister, talk to him, shoot the shit for a little bit, and then I'll come back and work. This disruption could be anywhere from 15, 20 minutes. Maybe it'll be even an hour, right? I don't stress it because I know that I'll make up the time and I'll work whenever I need to. So that's my disruption. I find a window where I can almost reset, take a break, and continue. Lunch doesn't fit in that because I eat right after the gym before I get to work. So after I hit the gym and come back, before I lock in, I'll eat, and then I won't eat again until much later. Then after this disruption, I'll have my second lock-in. Second lock-in is 4 hours, again, usually where I'll do some more calls if I have them in the calendar. Usually I'll do more research. It could be research on how I can serve my guys better. It could be research on new sales strategies. Maybe I'll just watch some YouTube from people that are in my space, competitors, people that I look up to, mentors of mine, people that I'm competing against, that I really respect, but also that I want to evolve past as well. I'll look at that, or I'll do some organizational work, maybe looking at sheets, looking at numbers, categorizing things, just mentally planning, or I'll do some hiring. Maybe I'll have to hop on an interview with someone that I want to bring on, an editor, something like that. So that's my second lock-in phase. I'll go back into my work environment. Either I haven't left my office and I've stayed there, or I'll come back into here, or I'll hit a cafe if I haven't done that already in the day. Put back on the music and knock out more tasks. That's what I do. And then the last part of my day is the wind down. Of course, I eat, and then I'll do something like watch a film. I'm a huge fan of watching films. I love this, and this is something I'm going to make a video about later. I don't think that men should be watching TV shows generally. I'll break this rule sometime depending on the show. Honestly, but 90% of the time you're not seeing me watching shows. Like, I don't remember the last time I've watched a TV show, as in followed a television show. It's been a very long time. Films, though, I'm a big fan of, because I believe films are specific windows of time, if they're good films, like not weird toxic shit, but good films that inspire you, that have a good story, especially if there's a masculine character where it shows the hero's journey, someone going through resistance. A lot of the Star Wars films or the Lord of the Rings films, I believe Dune is like this actually as well. There's a lot of positive energy behind that journey, and there's a lot of themes there and lessons there that can inspire you as you create, because these are literal works of art. Whereas I found that TV shows are more so made to suck you in and keep you watching and wondering what's coming next. Whereas films are, there's a beginning, there's an end, there's a lesson. You can take something away from this and maybe even use it to inspire yourself and how you create for yourself. Analogies, metaphors that you use when talking to clients if you're in sales, right? That helps me a lot watching films. So I love watching films. I'm watching films throughout the week. Or I'll do some strategy for the business. I'll work more, or I'll go on a date. Me and the girl go out, or if I'm traveling, maybe I'll meet someone. We'll hang out, spend some time. Or an event. Maybe I'll go and link up with the guys. The other day I was just hanging out with a couple of the boys. We spent like a good 3-4 hours together, just talking business, talking life, philosophy, and then I'll maybe grind more as well. I'll hop on the laptop, do a bit of editing again, maybe some writing, but that's my flow. This is my protocol. This is how I get stuff done. And a couple best practices that I'll give you as you create your own protocols, and then I'll wrap up here, is you want to limit your dopamine drips and artificial reward systems. If you're building a protocol, you could build it around this. You want to limit how much dopamine you're dripping into yourself. Dopamine meaning like scrolling, right? That's a dopamine drip. You're getting a reward, your brain's being stimulated, but you're not working for that stimulation because it's just here on this fucking device. We don't want that to happen. Another one is porn. We already know this. This is the biggie. Maybe I'll make a video about porn in the future, but I think it's been beat down enough. No pun intended, or pun intended. But porn is cut that out. It just doesn't help you, doesn't serve you. It fucks with your brain in one of the worst ways, because you feel like you're getting a reward. So literally your primitive brain is like, I'm procreating right now, and I am furthering my seed, which is furthering my genetic code, which is one of your primary drives as a man, if not the primary drive as a man. Everything we do is literally to further the human race. Everything we do is for that. It's hardwired into us. We are animals that are furthering our species. That is what we are. And when you hijack this with artificial stimulation, that is not created because you earned the right to reproduce, but because it was handed to you on a device, you essentially sabotage one of your own motivations as a man. So you literally destroy yourself from within. And I don't want that to happen to you. So porn is an absolute no-go. Junk food binges is another one. Cut that out. I'm not going to speak on it, but just, you don't want to be, I'm feeling good because I feel the chips crunching in my mouth. Sometimes I'll have a bag of chips, okay? But you're not doing that 24/7. You don't want to be doing that, especially if you're trying to lose weight and, get in shape. Another good one is to prioritize skill set or asset building. You want to make sure that you're always leveling up the skill set, acquiring knowledge, and then applying that knowledge in the real world through building assets, whether that's you building out intellectual property for your course, whether that's you reaching out to clients and getting better at sales, which is also an asset, having your sales skill set get better, or it's getting better at your marketing, getting better at your copywriting, getting better at video editing, getting better at understanding ads or networking, building your network, right? Whatever you can build a protocol around skill set or around assets, that's really powerful. And then the last point here, and if you made it to the end, amazing, I'm happy to see you here, is remove time delays. So what you want to do is not have lots of time in between the actions you're taking. And that doesn't mean you can't take a break, but you don't want it to be, I'm going to take action 2 hours later and I'm delaying the time it takes for me to go from nothing to taking action. We don't want that. We want to minimize that time. It's an old concept actually I would teach in dating, where guys who would want to work on their confidence, meet girls, things like that, I would always tell them, and I got this from a mentor of mine, minimize the time between your interactions. So if you're talking to a woman, it doesn't go well, and you're in the club and you really want to meet someone that night, work on the dating skills, be social, things. You don't even need to drink, but let's say you're out trying to meet chicks and, do that. You don't need to stand around on your phone because you're increasing the time between your interactions. So minimize that time, and it puts you in a space where you're more likely to take action faster and get the results you want. Okay. I hope this made sense. The community is literally about to be here. The link is going to be down below because we're all set up. We're good to go. And we're going to create an amazing event that should be happening within the next 2-3 weeks. I will give you the exact dates. I've got some travel coming up to London and the beyond. But once all that's set in terms of my own schedule and the path that I'm on right now, and doing some things with friends in my network, I'll let you know. And we're going to bring you in the community. We're going to train you. You're going to get the results that you want. You're going to create the freedom you want, create the life that you want. And I will help you get there. I will support you in it. I will help you reach those goals with guidance, mentorship, and accountability. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get you rocking and rolling and make the changes that you're looking for. Okay. Be blessed. Take care. I will see you on our next training. I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you're crushing it, that you're grinding. I see your messages. I know you guys are messaging me. I can't respond to all of them anymore because it's too much. So I'm sorry, but send me a message if it's the right message and not just, hey, I have a question. No question. Those are harder for me to respond to. Just ask me something. And if it's something I'm ready to connect with, then I'll respond and I talk back. I send responses to most of my messages still. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Blessings.